Hello YouTubers, I want to welcome you to another edition of Park and Bin Gear. And this time around we're going to take a look at a 2x12 speaker cabinet. Okay? And in this case it's actually an EVH 2x12 cabinet. And yes, make no mistake about it, the EVH stands for Eddie Van Halen. Probably a guitarist a lot of you are probably familiar with. And in this particular case, I guess this is his brand of speaker cabinet. And it's a 5150, right? EVH cabinet. Right. Now, that's all fine and well, right? But I think more importantly are what speakers are in the cabinet. And what I've noticed is that the EVH cabinets, there's a couple of different kinds, and they all have different speakers, surprisingly enough. In this particular case, these are the Anniversary Heritage Celestion speakers. It's a 16 ohm cabinet. We can take a look at it here. Okay, so there's the EVH 2x12 cabinet. And you can see here, there's a 5150 EVH 2x12 cabinet, and if you look along the sides, there's the side legs right here to angle the cabinet. Right there. It goes down the side here. Okay. And there's casters right here underneath the cab. So there it is. And for this particular demo, I'm going to just power it off my little Super Champ X2. Right? A little 15 watt Fender amp. Right? Supposedly a tube amp, but anyway, it's one of my favorite amps because it's so inexpensive. Unfortunately, it's been discontinued. But it can easily power this 2x12 cabinet without a problem. And in fact, and this is something to, if you're not aware of this, is you can take a little 15 watt amp like this and run it into a larger cabinet and get a much louder, bigger sound. And in this particular case, what I found with the EVH cabs is that, man, they are really loud. I mean, every bit as loud as the Cannabis Rex cabinet that I have, you know, and that's 102 dB of sensitivity speaker-wise. So these are really great speakers. And the speakers are quite expensive, you know. These are not your run-of-the-mill, you know, Celestion 7080s or what have you. And here's the thing. This particular cabinet, new, right, was $499, so $500. Sadly, because of inflation in the economy at the moment, they've gone up to $599, which is like $600 new. Now, you can find them used, but if you do purchase used, be very careful. that the speakers are good and everything, and nothing's blown, or they replace the speaker, that kind of thing. Now, I got this cabinet from a friend of mine, so while it is used, I'm pretty confident of, of where it was and who used it, Now, surprisingly, as I mentioned, they have made a couple different models using different speakers. And one telltale sign of that is on the right-hand corner where it said 5153. I think it's 50 watt 6L6 in this case, which references a tube head, an EVH tube head that would go with this cabinet. However, because they have other tube heads, they've actually changed the cabinets, right? And instead of 6L6, it says EL34 or something like that, mentioning that the tubes that are in the tube amp that matches the cabinet. Right? Obviously, in this case, we're just using the cabinet, so there are no tubes to speak of except from the little Fender Super Champ X2. And, let's take a listen to it. Okay, so there you go. There's the EVH 5150 with the Anniversary Heritage Celestion speakers. Here are my overall thoughts. One, really knocked out by the size of the sound, if that makes sense. I mean, the little Super Champ X2, has a built-in little 10-inch speaker, and man, when you plug into it, the 2x12, the EVH 2x12, it's a huge sound. In fact, I have to say, I have a Marshall 2x12 cabinet, right? And I think those just have stock 70-80 speakers, and this is much louder. And I should say, much louder, but clearer as well. I mean, it's just a really nice sound. I did find that it can be quite bright. Those Anniversary Heritage Celestion speakers can be quite bright. However, with some EQing on your amp, right, and using the neck pickup instead of a bridge pickup on the guitar, and you get a really smooth sound, I suppose it can be quite dark, actually, which is a guitar sound I really like, personally. And it can do both, either way, when you switch it to the bridge position, it can get real bright as well. Beyond that, just the sound is just fantastic. And it's big. I mean, it fills the room very, very easily. So sound-wise, I think it's really great. Now, a couple of other things. It's quite heavy, actually. To carry around, basically. And, there aren't really any handles on it, and that makes it kind of hard to carry around, especially, it's pretty heavy. I mean, those speakers weigh quite a bit, especially when you've got two to move around. The other thing is, it has taken from, obviously, like the Fender Twin, right, amps from Fender, the EVH, which by the way is built in a Fender factory. It has the metal sides, right, so that you can angle the cabinet, and that adds to the weight as well. I'm not necessarily a big fan of that, really. Now, it does have casters, very helpful, definitely. But if you've got to take that up a flight of stairs or something, I mean, that's a lot of work because of the weight of it. However, you could also probably drop it down a flight of stairs and it would probably still work and still be all together, because it is really well made, This isn't MDF here, as far as the wood is concerned. Now here's something else that's very interesting. In my setup, especially when I'm using the bass amp really handles a lot of the low end, which I'm cutting with a crossover here. And without the crossover, the EVH cab has a really huge low end, right? That in most cabinets gets cut out completely. Reminds me very much of the Mezzo Boogie cabinet, right? They have a similar cabinet. In fact, it looks very similar. Can handle a tremendous amount of low end, almost to the point of being a bass speaker cabinet. And here it's not much different. You have the regular speaker, which sounds really great, and then on top of that, a layer of low end sound that you don't find in a lot of the guitar cabinets. So that's something to be aware of. And that even, gives it even a bigger sound. But I was quite surprised it's not harsh at all. This is usually made for high gain, kind of rock and metal sounds, but it can also be very, very smooth for clean sounds, jazz, blues, anything like that. It can handle that really, really well, and it's very smooth, not harsh at all. So my only complaint is really the weight of it, and it's not that big a deal. I don't, tell you the truth, personally, I take those side angled things off the cabinet, personally, because I have stands, that can angle a cabinet, and it would fit perfectly on that. Not a big deal. Besides that, and besides the weight, those are my only criticisms. As far as the sound, it's really great. I mean, to the point where I would really consider getting another one. Though the price has gotten so high, it just keeps going up and up and up. It's crazy. Well, anyway. But there you go. If you're or have been thinking about a 212 cabinet, right? There's a lot of really good ones. This is the most popular, or bestseller, if you like, and there's a reason why. And once you play one, you'll understand why. It's a really nice, clear and big sound without being harsh. Very smooth. Just wanted to show you that. If you run across one, definitely worth trying. Alright, very good. See you next time. Okay, bye.